Do not turn away, not another step, not another scroll, not another moment of putting more distance between you and the one who has been standing here, waiting, watching, calling your name, longer than you know. I see you. I see the direction you've been moving. I see the slow drift that did not happen all at once. It never does. It began with one hard season that left you with questions you did not know how to bring to me. Then, the prayers got shorter. Then, the silence between us stretched longer. Then, one day you realized that you could not remember the last time you felt close to me. And instead of reaching toward me, you pulled back, because pulling back felt safer than reaching and feeling nothing. I know exactly how it happened, and I am not angry. I need you to hear that before anything else. Before I say another word, I need you to know that what you will not find here today is disappointment. What you will not find is a ledger of everything you did wrong since the last time you felt close to me. What you will not find is a God who has been keeping score, building a case, waiting for you to come back so he could show you exactly how far you fell. That is not who I am. What you will find, what has been here the entire time you were pulling away, the entire time the distance was growing, the entire time the shame was building into a wall between us, is a father standing at the door, not pacing impatiently, not arms crossed, not face hard with judgment, standing, watching the road, waiting for the moment you turn back toward home. Today is that moment. Do not take another step away. Turn around. I have been waiting to see your face before this message ends. The shame that made you feel far from me will begin to lose its grip. Stay with me. This is where you come home. You have felt it, haven't you? The pull, the quiet ache that has been underneath everything. Underneath the distance, underneath the silence, underneath the days when you told yourself you were fine without this. You have felt it in the moments when a song caught you off guard, and something in your chest moved before you could stop it. You have felt it in the 2 a.m. stillness, when the noise of the day was finally gone, and there was nothing left to distract you from what you actually felt. That pull, that ache, that was not guilt, that was not religious obligation. That was me, calling you home. I have been calling you home for longer than you know. I know why you pulled away. And I know it was not simple. It was not one decision made on one bad day. It was layers. It was a slow accumulation of things that made staying close feel harder and harder, until the distance felt like the only comfortable place to be. Maybe it started with a prayer that went unanswered, or felt unanswered. You asked me for something with everything in you. You waited, you trusted, you told yourself to keep believing. And then the thing you feared most happened anyway, and the silence where you needed an answer felt like more than you could hold. So you stepped back, just a little, just enough to protect yourself from the pain of reaching toward someone who did not seem to be reaching back. Maybe it started with a mistake, something you did that you cannot forgive yourself for, something you are convinced I cannot forgive either, even though you know what my word says, even though you have heard the sermons, even though somewhere deep in you there is a voice that says, grace is real. But grace feels like something for other people, People whose failures are smaller. People whose sins are less specific, less repeated, less shameful than yours. So you stopped praying. Not all at once, gradually. The way a fire goes out, not in one moment, but in the slow absence of fuel, until one day you realize the warmth is gone and you are sitting in the cold, wondering when it happened. Maybe it started with exhaustion, the kind that is not just physical, the kind that goes all the way down into the parts of you that used to be full of faith. You got tired of fighting, tired of believing for things that had not come, tired of showing up to church and singing the words and raising your hands and feeling nothing behind the performance, tired of the gap between what you professed and what you actually felt. And so you stopped performing. And stopping the performance meant stopping everything, because you did not know how to come to me without having it together first. I saw all of it. I saw the morning you woke up and reached for your phone before you reached for me, and the morning after that, and the one after that, until reaching for me was no longer the first instinct. I saw the Sunday you stayed home, not because you were sick, but because you could not face sitting in that room feeling like a stranger wearing a familiar face. I saw the Bible on the nightstand gathering dust, not because you stopped believing, but because opening it felt like opening a letter from someone you had wronged and were not ready to face. I saw you pretend, in rooms full of people who thought they knew you, nodding along to conversations about faith when inside you felt hollow, saying the right things while quietly wondering if any of it was still real for you, smiling the smile that said everything is fine when nothing on the inside felt fine at all. And I watched the shame grow. That is the cruelest part of what the enemy does. He uses the very distance from me to make coming back feel impossible. He whispers, "You have been gone too long." He whispers, "Look at what you have done since you last came to God." He whispers, "You cannot walk back in now, not after this." He makes the gap feel so wide that crossing it seems more painful than staying on the wrong side of it. But I tell you now, he lied. He lied about the distance. He lied about my response. He lied about whether you were still wanted. He lied about whether the door was still open. It is open. It has always been open. It was open on your worst day. It was open in the silence. It was open in the mistake. It was open in the exhaustion and the doubt and the hollow performance and the Sunday you stayed home. It was open every single morning you reached for your phone instead of reaching for me. It is open right now. If you have been carrying the weight of distance between you and God, if you know exactly what I am talking about right now, comment, "I'm coming home" below, because that is what is happening right now, in this moment. You are coming home. You are still my child. I need you to let that land, not skim past it, not file it under things you already know. Let it actually reach you. The part of you that has been living under the weight of feeling disqualified, feeling like an outsider, feeling like the label of child no longer applied to you because of how long you had been away or what had happened in the distance. You are still my child, the prodigal son. Do you remember him? He took everything his father had to give, walked away, wasted it all, ended up in a place so far from home that home felt like a different lifetime. And in that low moment, the scripture says he came to himself. He remembered who he was and whose he was. and he began the walk home, not knowing what reception was waiting for him, rehearsing his apology the whole way, prepared to come back not as a son, but as a servant, prepared to earn back what he had walked away from. But the father saw him while he was still a great way off. The father was looking. The father was watching the road. The father ran, not walked, not waited at the door with arms crossed, ran toward the son, who was still covered in the evidence of where he had been. And before the son could deliver his rehearsed apology, before he could offer to work as a servant, before he could make his case for reduced status, the father called for the robe, the ring, the sandals, the feast, not because the son had earned it back, but because he was still a son. He had always been a son. The sonship was never revoked by the walking away. That story was not just a story. That story is yours. Today, you have been rehearsing your apology on the walk back. You have been preparing what you will say, calculating how much you need to explain, wondering if there is a probationary period before things can be what they were. You have been bracing for the version of this conversation where I remind you of the distance and what it cost. But I saw you while you were still a great way off. I saw you the moment something in you shifted. The moment the pull toward home became stronger than the pull toward the far country. I saw you before you finished deciding to come back, and I am already running toward you. Not with a list, with open arms. You did not lose your place in my heart when you walked away. You did not have to earn it back by being good enough or long enough before returning. You are not on probation. You are not a servant in my house. You are my child. And children are welcomed home, not interrogated at the door. The shame that has been telling you otherwise was never my voice. Let me say that clearly so there is no confusion. The voice that said you had gone too far, that was not me. The voice that said you needed to clean yourself up before coming back, that was not me. The voice that cataloged your failures and used them as evidence that you were no longer welcome, that was not me. I do not speak in shame. I have never spoken in shame. Shame is the enemy's language, and he borrowed my name to deliver his messages. My voice sounds like, come. My voice sounds like, you are still mine. My voice sounds like, I have been waiting. My voice sounds like, the door was never locked against you, not for a single day. The door was never locked against you. Not when you stopped praying, not when you stopped reading, not when you made the choice you are most ashamed of, not when you stayed home from church, not when you felt nothing in worship for so long that you stopped trying to feel anything. Not once, not ever. I did not lock that door, and no one else has the authority to lock it. Now let me show you what happened behind the scenes while the enemy was building that wall of shame between us. Because while he was whispering that you were too far gone, that you had disqualified yourself, that the distance had grown too wide, I was working, not waiting passively, working. The enemy's strategy was specific. He is not creative. He uses the same tools on everyone because the same tools keep working. He used your pain to create questions. He used your questions to create doubt. He used your doubt to create distance. And then he used the distance itself as his most powerful weapon. Because the further you get from me, the louder his voice becomes, and the quieter mine seems. He engineered the silence you interpreted as my absence. He amplified the unanswered prayer into evidence of my indifference. He took the very real pain of your hardest season and twisted it into a case against my love. And then, this is the part that makes me most urgent right now. He used your own conscience against you. He took your sensitivity, your awareness of right and wrong, your genuine care about living with integrity, and he weaponized it. He turned your own heart into the prosecuting attorney, made you the judge and jury of your own case, and convinced you to deliver a verdict I never agreed with. You are not too far gone. I never said that. You are not disqualified. I never said that. You are not beyond restoration. I have never once, not in your darkest moment, not at your furthest point of distance, said that about you. What I said was, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Everlasting does not have an asterisk. It does not have a clause that reads, unless the distance becomes too great, or unless the failure becomes too specific. Everlasting means what it says. What I said was, nothing can separate you from my love. Not death, not life, not things present, not things to come. I meant every word of that, including the words that cover the season you just came out of. The enemy thought the shame would keep you away permanently. He thought if he could make the gap feel wide enough, you would never attempt to cross it. He thought your own sense of unworthiness would do his work for him. But you are here. You turned around. You are reading these words right now. And that means he miscalculated. He always miscalculates when I am involved. Here is what he did not account for. He did not account for the fact that I never stopped pursuing you. Even in the distance, even in the silence, even in the season when you stopped reaching toward me, I never stopped reaching toward you. Every moment of unexpected peace in the middle of a hard day, every time a song found you that you were not looking for, every conversation that turned towards something deeper than it was supposed to, every quiet moment when something stirred in you that you could not explain, that was me, not giving up, not waiting passively, actively, consistently, persistently pursuing the one who had drifted, because that is what I do. I leave the 99 and I go after the one. You were always the one I was coming after. What he used to push you away has now become the very thing that will make your return more powerful than your departure. The testimony waiting on the other side of this moment is one that will reach people he never wanted reached. The story of someone who walked away and came home. That story has always been one of the most powerful ones I tell. And now it belongs to you. The shame ends today. Not because you earned your way out of it, but because I am lifting it off you right now. And what I lift, no enemy can put back. Now, receive what I am about to release over your life. Do not let this moment pass without taking hold of it. This is your appointed time. Because this is not the end of a conversation about what went wrong. This is the beginning of everything that comes next. And what comes next, now that you have turned around, now that the distance is closing, now that the shame is lifting, is more than you have allowed yourself to imagine in a long time. Let me tell you what restoration actually looks like. Not the small, cautious, probationary version you were prepared to accept. The full version. the robe, and the ring, and the feast version. That is what I have prepared for this moment. In your presence with me, I am restoring what the distance stole. The intimacy, the sense of being known and held, the quiet certainty that I am near, not as a feeling you have to manufacture or perform, but as a reality that settles over you like peace settles over a room when everything finally goes still. You are going to feel close to me again, not because you worked hard enough to earn it back, because I am pulling you close, right now, in this moment. The warmth you remember, the one that made faith feel real, and prayer feel like a conversation, and worship feel like coming home. I am rekindling it. It never left. You moved away from it, and now you are moving back. In your peace, I am silencing the inner prosecutor, the voice that has been running the case against you in your own mind, replaying the failures, cataloging the distance, building arguments for why you do not deserve to be here. That voice loses its authority today. I am replacing the prosecution with a declaration. You are forgiven. You are clean. You are welcome. Say those 3 things over yourself until they reach the part of you that has not believed them yet. In your identity, I am restoring the name I gave you before the shame gave you a different one. The shame named you, too broken, too inconsistent, too far gone, too ordinary for God to pursue. I am taking these names back. They were never yours. They were the enemy's labels placed on a child of God who forgot, for a season, whose they were. Your real name, the one written before you were born, the one that has not changed through any of it, is beloved, chosen, mine. In your relationships, I am bringing people back into your life who carry my heart. People who will not flinch at your story. People who have their own version of the far country and came home and will sit with you in the honesty of that without judgment. The isolation that grew during the distance, the pulling away from community, the feeling that no one could know the real version of what was happening inside you. That isolation is ending. I am sending the right people. People who will see you, the real you, the one that has been hiding, and stay. In your calling, nothing was canceled while you were away. I need you to wear that. The gifts I placed in you did not expire during the distance. The purpose I wrote over your life before you were born was not reassigned to someone else because you went through a hard season and pulled back. It is still yours, every bit of it. And the season you just walked through, the one that felt like pure loss, has added a depth to you that will make everything I called you to do more powerful than it would have been without it. Your story just got bigger. Your reach just got wider. In your freedom, the shame that became a chain is being broken today. Not weakened, not loosened, broken. You are not going to carry it out of this moment the way you carried it in. The weight that has been sitting on your chest, the heaviness that made worship feel like pretending and prayer feel like hypocrisy, I am lifting it now. And when it lifts, what you will feel underneath it is not emptiness. It is relief. And underneath the relief, joy. The kind that does not depend on circumstances because it does not come from circumstances. It comes from me. In your new beginning, the slate is clean. I am not giving you a slightly improved continuation of the story that led you to the far country. I am giving you a new chapter, new mercies, new morning. The things that pulled you away, the pain, the unanswered questions, the exhaustion, the failure. I am not erasing them because they did not happen. I am redeeming them. I am taking every single one and weaving it into something that will make people who hear your story say, "Only God could do that." In your joy, I am bringing back what the years of distance dimmed. The lightness, the sense that life is held, that the future is not something to fear, that tomorrow has a God in it who is already there preparing the way. You were not designed for the heaviness you have been carrying. You were designed for the fullness of life I promised. Life that is real and present and overflowing even in imperfect circumstances. That fullness is available to you again. Starting now, starting today, the people who watched you pull away and wondered if you were lost, they are about to see something they were not expecting. A return, a restoration. A person who came back from the far country not diminished but deepened. Not broken beyond repair, but rebuilt into something stronger than what left. What the enemy meant as your ending is about to become your most powerful beginning. Type, "I am coming home," if something in your heart just shifted, because something did. And I want you to mark this moment. This is the moment the tide turned. I am turning your distance into depth, your shame into testimony, your wandering into a story of my faithfulness that will outlast your lifetime. The scars from the far country are not disqualifications. They are the proof that you survived what tried to destroy you, and the evidence of what I can redeem when someone simply turns around and comes home. I told you through my word, if you return to me, I will return to you. I am a God who keeps his word every single time. The seeds of faith you planted before the distance, the ones you thought were lost, the ones buried under the layers of the hard season, those seeds did not die. They went deep, and now that you are turning back toward the light, watch what begins to grow. It will surprise you. It will move faster than you expected. It will produce more than you imagined possible from seeds that had been underground so long. Watch what I do now. Just watch. Do not miss what I am releasing over your life in this season. Your appointed moment is here. And when you see the first sign, the first moment where something shifts in a way you cannot explain, where a door opens that had been closed, where a peace arrives that the circumstances do not warrant, where a person appears who says exactly what you needed to hear, do not dismiss it. Do not call it coincidence. Do not explain it away with logic. Recognize it for what it is. That is me, keeping my word, making good on the promise I have always kept and will always keep. Welcome it. Say thank you. Let it build your faith for the next sign. And the one after that. My beloved child, this is the moment I have been waiting for. Not with impatience, not with frustration at how long it took. With the quiet, steady, unshakable certainty that this day was always coming. Because I know you, and I knew that the pull of home would eventually be stronger than everything keeping you away. I want more than this moment. I want the walk that follows it. Not the performance, not the version of faith that is held together by effort and looks right from the outside, but costs you everything to maintain. The real walk, the honest one, the one where you come to me exactly as you are. Tired, uncertain, still figuring it out. And you let me meet you there instead of trying to clean yourself up before you arrive. Here is what coming home actually looks like going forward. It looks like talking to me again, not with the formal language of someone addressing a judge, but with the easy honesty of someone talking to a father who already knows everything and loves you anyway. Tell me what is hard. Tell me what you do not understand. Tell me the things you are ashamed of. Not because I need the information, but because the act of bringing them to me instead of hiding them is what breaks their power over you. It looks like stopping the hiding. The hiding was always the heaviest part. The pretending, in rooms full of people, in your own internal monologue, that you were further along than you were, that you had it more together than you did, that the distance was not as wide as it actually was. The hiding was exhausting. You do not have to do it anymore. Not with me. Never with me. It looks like releasing the need to have all the questions answered before you come back all the way. You do not need to resolve every theological tension, reconcile every unanswered prayer, understand every hard season before you are allowed to be close to me again. Come with the questions. Bring them with you. I am not threatened by your questions. I am big enough for every single one of them. Come close first. The understanding follows the closeness, not the other way around. And here is what I need you to put down before you take another step forward. Put down the shame. I know you have been carrying it so long it feels like part of you. Like removing it would mean removing something essential. But it was never part of you. It was placed on you. And I am taking it off now. You do not get to pick it back up on the way out of this moment. It does not belong to you anymore. Put down the false version of me you have been relating to. The one who keeps records, who is hard to please, who is waiting for you to fail again so the ledger can be updated. That is not who I am. The real me is the father who ran down the road. The real me is the one who called for the robe before the apology was finished. The real me has not changed while you were away, and I am not going to change now that you are back. Put down the timeline. The idea that you need to spend a certain amount of time working your way back to where you were before the distance, earning back your spiritual standing through consistent performance over a probationary period. There is no probationary period. You are already home. You arrived the moment you turned around. Right, the shame is not mine to carry below if you are ready to put it down for good. Because it never was. And today, it ends. Walk forward from this moment with your head up. Not because you have earned the right to hold it up, but because I am holding it up for you. Because you are mine, and I am proud that you came home, and there is nothing in my posture toward you that looks anything like shame. You are not the same person who pulled away. Something has already shifted. Honor that shift. Protect it. Do not let the enemy talk you out of what happened in these minutes. Do not let the busyness and the noise crowd out the turning point before it has time to take root. Before we close this moment together, let me give you words to bring before me. Let us pray together. Father, I come back to you today. Not with everything figured out. Not with a perfect record since the last time I felt close to you. Not with the shame cleaned up, or the questions answered, or the distance explained away. I come back exactly as I am. I have been away. I know how far I drifted. I know the prayers I stopped praying, and the mornings I stopped reaching, and the moments I chose the distance because it felt safer than showing up hollow. I know all of it, and I am not going to pretend otherwise, but I also know what your word says about the father who ran. I know what you said about the door being open. I know that shame was never your language, and that the voice telling me I had gone too far was never your voice. So today, I am choosing to believe that. Not because it is easy, but because I have heard your voice in this moment, and it sounds like welcome. It sounds like, come home. It sounds like I have been waiting. I release the shame I have been carrying. All of it. The specific failures and the general drift and the hollow performances and the Sundays I stayed away and the prayers I stopped believing were going anywhere. I place all of it in your hands, and I ask you to do what only you can do. Take what was broken and make it whole. Take what was lost and restore it. Take the distance and fill it with something better than what was there before. I want to be close to you again. Not the performance of closeness, the real thing. The kind where I bring you what is actually true about me instead of the edited version. The kind where I stop hiding. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for the robe and the ring and the feast. For the welcome that did not wait for the apology to be finished. Thank you for running toward me while I was still on the road. I am home. In Jesus' name, amen. You prayed that prayer, and heaven celebrated. I need you to understand what just happened. The scripture says there is rejoicing in heaven over one who returns. That is not poetry. That is reality. The moment you turned around, the moment you chose home over the far country, something moved in the heavenly realm that is more significant than anything happening in the visible world around you right now. You are not the same. Do not go back to treating yourself like you are. The prodigal son did not leave the feast and go back to the far country. He did not finish the celebration and return to the pig pen. He was home, and home changed him. The return was not a temporary visit. It was a permanent restoration. That is what this moment is for you. Not a temporary feeling that fades by tomorrow morning. A permanent shift in whose you are and where you stand. You are home. Act like it. Speak like it. Receive like it. Here is what I need you to carry from this moment forward. You are home now. And home is not a place you have to keep earning the right to stay in. It is where you belong. It is where you have always belonged. The door that was open when you left is the same door you just walked back through. And it is going to stay open. I am not going to let you drift that far again without reaching for you. I am going to be louder in the quiet moments. I am going to make my presence more tangible on the ordinary days. I am going to remind you, through a song, through a word, through a moment of unexpected peace, that you are not alone and you are not forgotten, and the distance is closed for good. You are loved. Not the conditional version of love that you may have experienced from people who had limits and wounds of their own. My love has no limits. It did not diminish during the distance, and it is not going to overflow now that you are back. It was always full. It has always been full. It will always be full. You are mine. You came home, and I am not going anywhere. Go forward from this moment differently. Head up. Shame gone. Door open behind you. Not to go back through, but as the reminder that you are always welcome, that there is never a version of you that is too far gone to come home. I love you. I have always loved you. I was waiting for you. And now that you are here, everything changes. If coming home today meant something to you, if something in your heart shifted while you were here, leave a comment below and tell me where you are in your story. Your words may be exactly what someone else needs to read to take their own first step back. Share this with someone you know who has been away, someone who needs to hear that the door is still open and the Father is still running. And if you want to keep receiving messages like this one, subscribe and stay close. You are home now, and there is so much more ahead. I will see you in the next one.